All right, from the beginning. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon. You got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Mallos, and welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Friday morning. Today, we're talking peace. Hey, peace, my friends. That's right. We're talking peace with someone from Peace Fresno, 436 MeTV option 11. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about the passing of Nelson Mandela. He was a giant of a man, and now he's gone, the age of 95. 436 MeTV option 11. Turn down the sound if you call in. And welcome back to the program here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, live on Comcast to channel 187 and 43.6. And of course, the entire world, and when I say the entire globe, that really is true. They are mourning, everyone mourning the loss of the one and only Nelson Mandela. He was 95. He passed away in his home I think early last evening, and so when word got out, people started holding candlelight vigils around the globe, and people were making statements. Of course, early this morning we saw much of the news surrounding the death of Nelson Mandela, who was a giant, and I mean a giant among men. When you stop and think about the ANC, that's the African National Party that controlled South Africa for many, many decades, and then Nelson Mandela came along. And, you know, basically they tortured, they killed his family, his friends, and then threw him in jail for the better part of 27 years. He came out, became president, and one of the things that people cannot understand about Nelson Mandela is despite the segregation and the discrimination and the hate and the violence and all the murders, he did not hold 1 ounce of spite in his body, no ill will, no vengeance for getting revenge. That's the one thing that people remember about Nelson Mandela. His word, one word to describe him, peace. Here's a wrap-up on the death of Nelson Mandela, who died last night at the age of 95.
Fellow South Africans,
as the news of Nelson Mandela's passing spread across South Africa, people gathered outside his house in Johannesburg to mourn his death and celebrate his life. The anti-apartheid leader and South Africa's first black president died at the age of 95. Thursday evening, an American flag flew at half-staff over the White House.
Today he's gone home. We've lost one of the most influential, courageous, and profoundly good human beings that any of us will share time with on this earth.
Around the world, political leaders reflected on a man who emerged from prison and became a global symbol of sacrifice and reconciliation.
Nelson Mandela was not just a hero of our time, but a hero of all time.
Nelson Mandela was one of the great figures of Africa, arguably one of the great figures of the last century.
In Harlem, the Apollo Theater paid tribute to Mandela, describing him as a man who changed our world.
He was an amazing human being. I think I will hold him up as a symbol of, great equality and life, passion.
For someone who's gone through what he has gone through, it's a learning process, and I think he's taught a lot of people a lot of different, a lot of things.
Tremendous impact on everybody certainly that I know.
In announcing Mandela's death, President Jacob Zuma said South Africa had lost its greatest son, and its people have lost, quote, a father. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Live in our studio now to talk about the Nelson Mandela passing, of course, is Beverly Fitzpatrick. She is the Vice President of Publicity for Peace Fresno, an organization that's been around since 2001, came out of the birth of 9/11. We'll talk a little bit about that and about the mission statement of Peace Fresno as well. Now remember, 436 MeTV Option 11, turn down the sound on your television set before you call in, because otherwise, my friends, we will not be able to hear you, and you will not be able to hear us. But we welcome your phone call. Make sure and hit option 11 as soon as you call in. We're back with our guest in just a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the show, and the passing of Nelson Mandela has sent everybody in a state of mourning around the globe. Even the flags in the nation's capital are flying at half-staff. I know at the White House, saw that early this morning. With us now is Beverly Fitzpatrick. She is the Vice President of Publicity for Peace Fresno. Quickly, your thoughts about the passing of Nelson Mandela.
Oh, wow, what a hero he was. And I liked what you said earlier about him. You know, he held no grudges even after all of his time in prison.
Well, not only his time in prison, but what they did to his family, his friends. They just not only tortured his family, many members of his family, and many of his friends, and killed them, but then, as I said, threw them in prison.
Mm-hmm. So true, so true.
So why do you think that his beliefs hold true to this day?
Because I believe that, you know, nonviolence and looking at people with compassion and care and seeing them as human beings that have dignity, and if we work with people like that in a peaceful way, I think we can come a lot further.
What do you think is will be his greatest legacy, in your opinion?
Oh, wow. His steadfastness. I mean, he has held steady to his beliefs forever and ever. He's held them. And I think that is what I succumb to, too, is to hold to my beliefs and work for the issues that I believe in.
Yeah. What issues do you think he believed in? Same ones as the ones that you believe in now?
Oh, so many.
Give me some examples.
Oh boy, you want me to give some examples?
Yeah, well.
Working for his people and what he believed in, and fighting for it with his whole body. And I heard him talk about his grandchildren and how important they were to him, and that he was there to make his country a better place for them, you know, and the world.
Yeah, well, an amazing man who survived 27 years in prison in an 8x10 cell, and then came out and ruled the country and tried to create peace throughout the region. There's no question about it. Who do you compare him to?
Oh, maybe Gandhi. Martin Luther King in our country. You know, Martin Luther King was actually, at the end of his life, was working for nonviolence, and he was opposing war.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of comparisons.
Let's talk a little bit about Peace Fresno and what your organization is all about. Give us how this organization came to be, 2001, how it was formed, and what the mission statement is.
Okay.
And be specific.
Okay. Well, I mean, our mission statement's pretty easy. It is working for peace and social justice, and to end militarism, and to let people know what militarism is. And in 2001, right after the attacks of September 11th, people gathered, and people gathered on the street corner and had a protest march.
I want to delve more into what you just said. We do have a phone call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What's your question?
Hi. I would just like to ask how she would do it as a woman, speak peace to a religion or not. I mean, hopefully I'm not saying this wrong, but to someone that just if you made eye contact, they'd beat you down for that. I mean, they'd stone you. And if you're a man, let's say, trying to speak peace with them also, you'd be also killed. how do you expect to speak to these people? I know peace is nice, but we have a military for a reason, and if peace was great, then that'd be great. But as a veteran, you need to leave the United States and go see what the rest of the world is like, and you'll be happy that what's going on is going on, and what we do every day.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. You want to pick it up?
Sure. What I would ask the caller is to come to a Peace Fresno meeting and see what we're all about. And there will be a lot of opinions about how you go about making peace. But I think you'll see that
Well, give us an idea. Give us an idea. How do you make peace with someone who wants to kill you?
Wow.
How do you make peace with that person?
That's a tough one. I agree. It is. It's hard. I think... Well, first I would have to build a relationship with them of just conversation, talking with them, and finding out why they want to kill me. And I would, I'm taking this personally right now, and I would work on that. And as far as governments go, I think it's the same thing. And so often I believe that there's something that person doesn't understand about where I'm coming from. And so I would try to work through that and help them comprehend what's going on.
The caller specifically mentioned the United States military. He's a veteran. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about the military?
That is a misconception that people have about Peace Fresno. We support our troops 100%. We feel like the troops are they're doing a job they were asked to do, and that they feel in their heart and it's a job, and that they're asked to do this job for our country, and that's what they're doing. We focus more on our government saying, come on, guys, think this through a little more. Ladies, Congress, just
So let me get this straight now. You're not in favor of eliminating our military.
I'm not, and Peace Fresno's not.
Okay. You're in favor of what, then? Telling our government to do what? We do have a military, and sometimes it is necessary to go to war.
Right.
What's the message that you want our government to hear from you, Peace Fresno?
Right, and I believe that what I've learned by being part of Peace Fresno is that we are educating the public, and hopefully the public will contact their legislators and let them know how they feel, that be more cautious. Just don't jump into everything. I think there are times that we do it for monetary purposes, that money is the object of the game, and that's not okay.
Do you think that it is necessary sometimes to go to war?
Yes, I do personally. I can't say that's everybody in Peace Fresno. I think Peace Fresno is made up of individuals who all have different opinions. And our mission statement says that we are here to educate and inform the public.
You think World War I was necessary?
World War I? Yes, I do.
World War II?
World War II? I think so, yes.
Yeah. Revolutionary War?
Yes. I definitely think the Revolutionary War.
Without that, we wouldn't have a country.
We wouldn't have a country. And, the caller talked about the vets, and, we have some vets who are on our board of Peace Fresno. And a Vietnam vet, and we've had an Iraqi vet come and talk with us at the meeting and join us in demonstrations on the corner. We have with the gentleman who's come, young man who's come from Iraq. He might have different political views than some of us, but he's against war, and he's against the Iraq war and being in Afghanistan. So I wish the caller would come. Our meetings are on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month at the Center for Nonviolence.
Where?
Which Center for Nonviolence is on Van Ness, across from City College, and they start at 7 o'clock. And we'd welcome him to come and challenge us. I think that's a good thing.
Okay, another
Thanks,
call.
caller.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, what are they doing about the gang problem in Fresno? I mean, look what happened yesterday in the Fulton Mall with that two rival gang members, one chasing the other into a business, and that's affecting everybody.
Yeah. What do you do about the gangs in Fresno? And of course, you had that one officer, off-duty officer, who was shot the other day by some gang members, I'm assuming. I mean, that's what they're saying. They were gang members. At least that's what the police chief was saying. So how do you deal with those kind of people? Can you make peace with them? I mean, isn't it almost impossible?
Well, I have to say that is not an area that Peace Fresno has worked in, although we do work with other organizations and other groups in Fresno who do work with the police chief and are on some of his committees and groups. But Peace Fresno as an entity has not worked in that area, but maybe that's something we should talk about, especially with the recent incident in Fulton Mall. We could bring that up at another meeting.
You do have some connections to Jerry Dyer then, huh?
Well, people who have either been officers in Peace Fresno, are still members in Peace Fresno, are on some of his task force. Yes.
Okay. Do you meet with him or no?
No, I don't.
You don't.
So,
okay.
But maybe I should, because now I'm publicity. So I moved from president to publicity.
Well, has anybody from your organization met with Jerry Dyer?
Yes, on a committee. Is working on different things.
Okay. And what are his thoughts about your organization? Does he ever say, or?
I've never really heard him say personally, but it was a contentious organization at the beginning, I believe, when we were in 2001. Right. We were even infiltrated, and by the government. So we became part of Michael Moore's. We became.
You have proof of that?
Yes.
You were infiltrated.
I didn't bring it, but we have. And
infiltrated by who?
It was a gentleman who I wasn't involved in the organization at the time, so minor's third-hand stories. But Michael Moore included us in his movie Fahrenheit 9/11.
Right.
And that's a nice little clip of the organization and what was happening.
Yes.
It was a person from the law enforcement in Fresno who came to Peace Fresno as undercover as a member, and got really involved, and then was discovered that he was a.
We're talking with Beverly Fitzpatrick. She is the Vice President of Publicity for Peace Fresno. Your phone calls are more than welcome here. 436-MeTV, option 11. Call in, turn down the sound, and hit option 11 as soon as you possibly can. Back in a moment.
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
1 Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
We're back here on the program Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, of course, live on Comcast, channel 187, and we're talking with Beverly Fitzpatrick of Peace Fresno. So how was your organization born? Out of what? 9/11?
Yes, 9/11.
How did that happen?
They organized many people who felt strongly about the talk of going to war came out to the corner, and thousands actually, and protested, and then a small group of concerned activists got together and said, let's form this organization.
There were a lot of people that were against the war, against going into Iraq or Afghanistan, because we didn't really know. I mean, we were being told there were WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. As it turns out, there weren't. But in retrospect, would you be against the United States government going after who was responsible for 9/11? For example, Osama bin Laden. Would you be against going after him and killing him and his cronies?
I can say that the organization would be against that, I believe.
Why?
And they would be against, they might not be against going after them, but they would be against killing him.
Why?
That he should be brought to trial, and he should be, we should find out who was behind it, not just him, but other people. And so it, I think that is the major question is, was there validity in going into that war? Or was the wool pulled over our eyes?
Okay, another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead with your question.
My question is about the drone strikes that have been approved by and sanctioned by the government, approved by the president. What's the best way at the grassroots level for us as citizens, as lovers of peace, to protest, make our voice heard, and send a message to our elected representatives that it may be a matter of policy for our standing president, but we're not in favor of it? How do we go about doing that the best way possible.
As a progressive, I agree with you 100%. And Peace Fresno made that their mission 2 years ago, to work to let this president and Congress know that we are completely against drone strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia. And
don't you think that saves lives, though? American lives.
That's the argument. That is the argument. I will give you the counter position is that, yes, it does. But our pilots, who are not really in the air, they're behind a computer screen, and they are sending these drones to kill targets that they can't be guaranteed they're going to hit their target. And I'll go back to the pilots real quick. They are experiencing PTSD because they're seeing the results of their drone strikes. And the collateral damage is unbelievable. And their targets are so wide-ranged. And how do we know those are terrorists? We don't. They say any male that looks like they could be a terrorist from the ages of 16 to 30 are targets, and maybe it's 40. And so when they hit someone like a 16-year-old young man who just walked out of his house and killed other people, it's not okay. You know, right about the same time that Sandy Hook happened, the horrible shooting back east, there was a drone strike by the U.S. government on a school in Pakistan. I mean, you know, killing many children.
I want to get back. I don't want to argue the point about Iraq or Afghanistan. What I do want to argue, though, is if you think if bin Laden was responsible for 9/11, shouldn't the U.S. government go after him and kill him? Isn't it easier to just kill him than bring him to trial? A lot of people think so.
A lot of people do. I don't.
Because that's what I'm trying to get out of you.
Because I'm not sure he was the one. Nobody's proven that to me. And
the U.S. government has secrets that you and I don't know. It's called top secret information that the CIA has, the FBI, and so it's called the war on terror.
Right, exactly.
Right? And so you're not privy to the information that the government has.
No. But I've read a lot. I've seen a lot of documentaries that have.
But even they don't have government information.
No, they can't. They can't. I agree with that completely. There was just a movie that was shown at Cineculture at Fresno State that we co-sponsored called Dirty Wars. And Dirty Wars is amazing. And it's about, it's about the secret operations of the U.S. government. And Jeremy Scahill did an awesome job with that movie. And that right there. And he was with them over there. He was in entrenched with them. And it brought out a lot of things that our government does that I don't agree with. And I still say I want more proof, and so I can't, and I don't believe that the members of Peace Fresno would agree that we should have killed him.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking with Beverly Fitzpatrick. She is the Vice President of Publicity for Peace Fresno. 436-MeTV option 11 if you want to get anything off your chest on this Friday morning. You want to get it off your chest, just call us. We'll put you on the air, and we're going to be back with our program in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the show, another phone call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Your question?
Hi. With all due respect to the lady, I mean, everything she's talking about is going on here in the United States. I'm talking, racial profiling, the way an 18 to 25-year-old Hispanic or African-American, white, whatever, is going on here in America. Show me that it works. Show me that it works in Fresno, and then take it to the United States, and then take it abroad. And then, I'm all for you. But for right now, when you're dealing with radicals that just have been entrenched for thousands of years, sometimes you got to just go with hopefully that your government's doing the right thing.
I agree. You have good points, and like I said, come talk to us. I'd love to talk with you someday. Come to Peace Fresno meeting, and I'll meet you. Tell you saw me on this show. Anyway, I think you're right, and boy, I agree with everything you said. Racial profiling is a big issue. We just went through that with Trayvon Martin, and we know. And I'm involved because of Peace Fresno. I'm involved in so many organizations that work for social justice in this community, and on the West Side. And I think we have issues that we need to deal with. We need our community to come together. Maybe an organization like Peace Fresno or the Center for Nonviolence or other organizations is the place to do it.
Well, and how do you know that the Trayvon Martin thing was racial profiling? Because there are many people that say the man who killed him is just simply crazy.
That's true too. I heard that too. And I don't know that.
And look how much trouble he's been in since the killing of Trayvon Martin, which was a senseless act. There's no question about it.
Right.
But on the other hand, you're looking at this individual and kind of shaping him up, sizing him up from top to bottom. Maybe he's not all there.
Right. He did. That's probably very true. I mean, come on. We know that mental health is one of our biggest problems. That's one of the problems with all the shootings that have happened.
Yeah. How many times has he been arrested since the trial ended? 2 or 3 times?
2 or 3 times, right, exactly.
Yeah, with gun violations or whatever, I don't know.
And, I think it did come out that, we don't know for sure that the Trayvon Martin thing was racial profiling.
Might have been. I don't know.
Might have been. He made a lot of statements that led us.
It might have been.
I think we need to step back, look at ourselves, look at what we say, how we say it. We don't know. We don't
I don't think anybody is in favor of random acts of violence. I think what I think a lot of people, why they oppose your organization is because when there is a legitimate time to shoot and kill somebody or defend our country, we have to do it, and it seems like your organization is opposed to that. Am I right?
I would say so. I would say that we want to...
in other words, your opposers think that there is a time and a place to kill someone or some people that are threatening us in other countries. And you're saying that's not okay.
I agree. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. And I think there's a different way to go about it. I'm not sure how that is.
Right.
I haven't been a diplomat, so I don't know.
All right. I want to take you back to September the 7th of this year, Courthouse Park in Fresno. We got some video of your silent vigil. This was the time the United States was thinking about going into Syria and bombing Syria. And you were holding a silent vigil, of course, and there it is right there. The Courthouse Park, there was music, and so tell us what this was about and why were you against the U.S. going in and throwing a few bombs on the Syrian government?
Well, for one thing, and this was in Courthouse Park, we had a small group. It got pretty hot out there. We stood in silence for an hour. We were asked to wear black, and we had music and some speakers, and it was a good day. There
it is. There's a sign that says no attack on Syria. Why?
We had been protesting on the corner because the use of chemical weapons had definitely been the president's justification for the talk of going to war, and we didn't feel that I read a lot about it, and I could not see where anybody could.
But do you think we have a weaker president today because he backed down?
I do. I will agree with that. And I'm on the Democratic Central Committee, so I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I am going to say it to you because I'm so disappointed in Obama. Sometimes I tell people I'm embarrassed that, we thought Obama was going to change things. And we just talked about the drone strikes. I mean, there's a hit list,
Right.
And we would like him to reconsider that. So, and the same thing. And I do feel, even though I think he backed down and made himself look weak, I think it was the public who brought to his attention that if nothing else, we want you to contact Congress before you go to war.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of controversy about that. Some people think he just backed down to Putin. Who knows? Who knows what the real story is? We're not going to really know for sure. Maybe we might know years to come.
Right. I email him a lot. I text him a lot.
Is that right? Who's that? Putin or Obama?
Putin. No, Obama. Obama.
You get a response, do you?
Never.
We're out of time. Beverly, Fitzpatrick, the Vice President of Publicity for Peace Fresno, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
And come back again.
Okay, thank
Like
you.
your viewpoint.
Yeah,
You're an excellent guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And we're going to be back again on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on MeTV Fresno on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6.